Evening and welcome to the Pmbc meeting for Wednesday, April 13th, 2022. We'll start with the warrant. We do have a quorum. Want to identify that. Let me pull up the warrant. Unfortunately, it's, as I said, sideways as opposed to landscape or whatever. But the first item is for Commodore Builders. It's not the last invoice, but it's close to the last invoice for the library, $47,365.37. The next three are associated with the library. These are for the photovoltaic panels. We've got GGD Consulting. Two invoices here, one for $5,625 and one for $375. And the last is Vertex Company associated with the solar panels, $1,896 for a total of $55,261.37. I know I sent these out fairly late this afternoon, so I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them, but any questions?
No.
All right. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve the warrant for $55,261.37. Bob Rumley.
Is there a second?
I'll second it. Bartlett Harvey.
Okay, great. Roll call vote. Bob?
Bob Rumley, yes.
Mike?
Mike Scaduto, yes.
Bartlett?
Bartlett Harvey, yes.
And Steve Moore, yes.
You also have Brian Pasquale on now, sir.
Yep,
Oh, Brian, did you hear the warrant?
I did. Yes, thank you. So Brian Pasquale, yes, as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, motion carries. We'll get rid of this and we'll go back to the agenda. Approve the meeting minutes of March 9th and March 23rd. I think I sent out or I know I sent out the minutes today with my comments. Any further comments?
No, they look good to me.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for 3/9 and 3/23?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from those two meetings, 3/9, 3/23.
That's Bartlett. Is there a second?
Second, Mike Scaduto.
Okay, roll call vote. Bob?
Bob Rumley, yes.
Bartlett?
Bartlett Harvey, yes.
Mike?
Mike Scaduto, yes.
Brian?
Brian Pasquale, yes.
And Steve Moore, yes. Okay, great. Motion carries. Moving on to the library. Brian, if you want to give us an update.
Yeah, just to take a step back on the warrant, when we do issue these invoices, I've spoken with Sean O'Brien and Alicia Nunley at Town Accounting. I'll make sure that they're indicated which ones are the solar, because there's a separate PO and money allocation for that. So there were two GGD invoices. One was for the preparation of the documents. One was for the bid exercise. And then there was the Vertex invoice as well, which we've been setting up. So that'll dovetail into our little update for this regarding the solar project. We've awarded a contract to KRN Contractors. They're based out of New Jersey. We spoke with the president on Friday of last week. They are providing us their bonds and insurance certificate. We just have yet to receive that, and they told us that they wanted to have a walkthrough on site this week. I'm hoping that it's tomorrow or Friday, in which we'll walk around, we'll dictate lay down areas, we'll talk about what time of work is, what they foresee for installation issues, as well as what the provisions were that was put in per the base contract. We have some conduits that are running from floor to floor that they need to utilize.
Any issues with delivery of materials?
So that was during our kickoff meeting, that was one of my points of concern. And the contractor wants to suggest a different style of panel that needs to be evaluated by the engineers. If that's the case, he claims they're readily available, and he claims that the installation is going to take 3 to 5 days. So this could be done quick if what they're providing is an equal to what has been designed, and that there's no increase in price with that. So we're still waiting on the submittals. Once we get them, we'll make sure that if there is any type of change to the design and the output of the panels, that we bring that up to the committee before we proceed with anything. Regarding base contract, we're meeting at the library on Friday morning at 10 a.m. to do a walkthrough with Commodore, to do a walkthrough with Johnson Roberts, as well as their engineers. We need to review some of the exterior punch list, how the grass is growing, and to go over any other warranty items that we'll have now that they've been moved in and operating for about 5 or 6 months.
When is that, Brian?
10 o'clock on Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay.
Yep. And that will also, we'll kind of wrap up with Commodore what they see left on their contract. And he can issue formally the deduct change order that he's going to provide to us to wrap up their construction contract. There has been some minor miscellaneous warranty items that we've been working with Sam and the contractor, but the only major issue we've got from a base contract standpoint is that we received the electric bill. The consumption's a lot larger than the base time. So we have the engineers coming out, reviewing what the energy bills look like based upon what their designs were. There was some, during training, there was some setbacks and some configurations that were adjusted that may be leading to the excess electricity. So while we don't have solar panels on the roof, we want to make sure that we're dialing those in and reeling them back as per design. So.
And I think there was also an issue with the gas consumption.
Yeah, we had some gas consumption over the cold winter, and we want to understand, because it wasn't as high as the electric bills. But the thought was that there wasn't going to be much gas consumption throughout the year. They had some, which the gas is there's very minimal gas that is fed into that building. We have unit heaters up in the unconditioned spaces up in the ceiling, and we do have a small gas line that feeds the ERV to temper outside air. So that'll be for our meeting on Friday as well.
Okay. Any questions for Brian on the library? Okay. Moving on to the police station.
Police station, I begged the contractors to give me their closeout documents on Friday so that we could have them on the warrant to close them out. They provided it to me today. I submitted those to Ed Mullen at the building department so that can be put up on the town's viewpoint. I also submitted to the chief. He'll have a hard copy on site there of the as-built as well as all the warranty information. So the project is complete. I will be recommending the waterproofing company's final requisition. I'll also talk with CBI Consulting about their final requisition, their final invoice for design services. At that point, I'll work with Alicia Nunley to make sure that the job is closed out. All DCAM paperwork has also been completed and submitted.
Oh, great. Any questions for Brian on the police station? Moving right along, Littleton High School roof update, Brian Pasquale.
Yep. So update since the last time we met, the committee, which was myself, Rich, and Steve Mark, met to review the 3 proposals we had, or 3 qualification packages we had. The decision was unanimous to go with Russo Bar. So I solicited some pricing from Russo Bar. They submitted that yesterday. It's in the amount of $26,475. So I'd like to, if we can, take a vote on that to move forward with the pricing submitted by Russo Bar to proceed with construction documents.
So Brian, can you elaborate on what's included in that amount?
That would take us through. Yep. So that amount is the full design package of the roof, which is all the way up through CDs, as well as construction administration to get us through bidding and CA phases. And we also asked them to revisit it and include some time to investigate potentially including a snow melt system on the roof because of some of the snow loading issues that we've had over the past few winters.
Right. So that takes us from design through closeout.
Correct.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I would like to make a motion that we give a notice to proceed with a contract for Russo Bar for the design work at the high school roof in the amount of $26,475.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Oh, Rich Crowley has joined us. Great.
I snuck in the back door.
Yeah, thank you.
Just in time. Thanks, Rich.
Okay, yeah. Another member of the selection committee, so that's great. Okay, all in favor? Roll call vote. Bob?
Bob Bromley, yes.
Bartlett?
Bartlett Harvey, yes.
Brian?
Brian Pasquale, yes.
Rich?
And a Rich is a yes as well.
And did I hit Bartlett or not?
You did. You
Mike.
missed Mike.
You missed
Oh,
me.
Mike. Okay.
Mike Scaduto, yes.
Okay, and Steve Moore, yes. Unanimous. Motion carries. Thanks very much. Any other comments or discussions on the high school roof?
I think Russo Bar has given us a very good number for the work that's involved. I just hope they can do it for that number.
Well, they will. All right, moving on to the senior center. I don't think that Anthony has joined us, but Brian, do you want to give us a little update on the senior center?
Sure. On Monday night, we had a select board meeting. We were asked to attend. I think finally, after 3.5 years of procuring a designer and having them do multiple feasibility studies on multiple sites, the opportunity came with the property around the where the tennis courts are near the town hall. The town administrator tasked us and LLB to do a schematic design of moving the building from across the parking lot where it had been estimated built into the hill. We were receiving costs of over $800 a square foot for just hard construction costs. That's been moved across. They've done some redesign, and that was what we were presented to the select board on Monday. This showed a good conceptual and schematic design that's been put out for an estimate at this point in order to verify that moving it across the parking lot was going to save a substantial amount of money. I have confirmed with the estimator that that's the case. I don't have the final figures on that, but the project was presented to the select board and the members that attended, showing the newest design. And from what I've gathered now, the select board will ultimately be tasking Pmbc with this project. And they wanted to have a recommendation from the Pmbc for the delivery method of this construction project. I know that Steve's been an advocate of CM at risk, how we went with the library. So before this meeting, we've gone ahead and I've asked the estimator to make sure that in his estimate, he has costs for what he believes this project would be for a CM at risk project. So that can be evaluated for the premium that would be upfront. So that's where we stand now. The town administrator has instructed LLB and Vertex to provide proposals to get them through bidding, to give them schedules and provide them with proposals to get them through bidding. There's two options right now. One would be to have probably a 70% estimate in hand for fall town meeting, or we wait until spring town meeting where if we have a CM on board, we would be coming to the Springtown meeting with a firm hard bid in hand. So that's where we stand. Ultimately, I don't know the internal town's process of tasking PMBC with the project, but I would hope that that's coming soon. So the process for going CM at risk, if that's the opinion of the committee, is us as the OPM would need to apply to the Inspector General's office to go that delivery method. In the event that is an affirmative vote, I've started the prep of the documentation for that already, as well as putting together a plans and procedures of Vertex that the Inspector General requires. It's a lot of feeding back to them Chapter 149A out of Mass General Law. So that's where we're at now. I've provided Steve with some of that documents and some of the requirements that are needed for that. But that's where we are. If we are going to go that route, it's our opinion that we'd want to get them on as soon as possible, or start the process with the Inspector General, as we want to make sure we maximize the amount of the resources that the CM can provide early in design. So
one of the requirements for the application is that the select board needs to vote on the CM at risk as a delivery method, and then at their subsequent meeting, they have to vote to approve those meeting minutes, and those verified meeting minutes then get attached to the application.
correct.
So the task before us tonight is I presented to the select board Monday night that we would be voting tonight on the delivery method. I would be recommending that the committee consider the CM at risk approach, and that we would I would then get back to the select board at their next meeting. They would vote on it. You know, it would become part of their meeting minutes. And so this is about probably a month process, if you take everything into account. So I would like to have maybe Rich, if you're in favor, make a motion that we go CM at risk.
I certainly will make that motion. I want to just explain that I touched base with a buddy of mine who builds schools, project manager. There's a town a little bit west of us who decided not to go CM at risk, and they were on a site with adjacent public access like this site has, and they were on a new site that hadn't been built on before, so they didn't know what was in the ground. Now, the CM at risk for this $50 million job would have cost them $1.5 million. They're already at over $5 million in change orders.
Oof.
Because they didn't do the CM at risk, which would have helped them with their budget, because they would have. There's no question in my mind. The access to the public and the unknown new site, I would say CM at risk is for sure. And I'm going to make that motion.
I'll second that motion. Bob Rumley.
Okay, we'll take a roll call vote. Bob?
Bob Rumley, yes.
Mike?
Mike Scaduto, yes.
Rich?
And Rich is a yes as well.
Brian?
Brian Pasquale, yes.
And Steve Moore, yes.
And
Thanks very
Bartlett
much.
Harvey, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bartlett. Your picture isn't up on my screen here, so I didn't see it.
Well, I got my haircut, so nobody recognizes me.
Oh my goodness.
Motion passes. Thanks very much. And as I mentioned to the select board on Monday night, that the change orders from the owner's contingency were less than 0.5% of the total construction budget, which is kind of amazing.
That's very unusual.
Yeah, it was great. And
That's what you get with CM at risk.
right.
Yeah, and it was we started construction before a pandemic and built during a pandemic, which is difficult. So yeah, hats off to them, and I thought it was a real successful project. So in the end, I don't believe it cost the town of Littleton or the taxpayers extra to go that delivery.
I was going to say that
Agreed.
alone should have cost more, but it's amazing. Hey, Steve, I gotta sign off. But it's been a pleasure to be with you guys tonight.
Yeah, thanks, and say hi to your class.
Thank you, guys.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, we got through that. Any other comments or discussion on senior center?
Does that estimate have escalation in it?
Does
Do we know? Because
it's
that I'm getting burned on a number of jobs right now.
well, yeah, of course, you know,
Yeah.
the schematic always has buku escalation in it, but and contingency, but
Yeah, I've been carrying 5%, and it's been coming in more like 10
wow.
every few
Wow.
months. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. We'll probably share that with the design team. All right. Any other comments on senior center?
Yeah, I spent 2 minutes looking at the drawings, and what I saw was that there was not an entrance, or it didn't look to me as if there was an entrance that didn't have stairs in front of it. And that there should be an entrance off of Shattuck Street that is at grade, and I didn't see one.
Well, there is no entrance off Shattuck Street. It's all off of the parking lot across from the library.
Yeah,
So the only doors, if you will, as I understand it, on the Shattuck Street side, open up to like a patio. And that's just based on sitting in on a couple of conversations. But, you know, the design is still kind of schematic.
right. Well,
Maybe they could allow for a ramp
From where?
where the stairs are gonna be,
from the parking lot.
parking lot side.
Well, I think it's at grade at the parking lot side. Just like the library is. Anyway, that's,
Okay,
I think it's supposed to be, if it doesn't show that way. So,
all right.
you know, okay, more to come on that. Member input, Bob,
I'm all set, Steve.
Bartlett,
I'm all set, thanks.
Mike,
I'm good. Thanks.
Brian,
All set. Thanks, Steve.
Rich is left, so I guess nothing on his part and nothing on my part. So thanks for everyone for your participation tonight. The next meeting will be April 27th, and we'll see you then.
No, you have
you
to
need a
adjourn.
Motion.
Oh, I know, I keep forgetting that. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Bob Romley seconds it.
Okay, roll call vote. Bob,
Bob Romley, yes.
Bartlett,
Bartlett, yes.
Mike,
Mike, yes.
Brian,
Brian Pasquale, yes.
and Steve Moore, yes. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Steve.
All right.
You.